Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. This is Erik Johnson, and you're watching Growth Guidance with Erik. And I want to talk about a topic that I, I I I can't express how much this particular topic and subject that we're going to talk about has had such an impactful way of life. And I know I kind of say that a lot, but it is true. I mean, all these principles are powerful, but this one in particular, it was actually taught by my mentor. And one of the things that really set off for me to look at not only failure, but where I'm going in life and how to really create momentum, right? Because there's nothing worse when you're in a situation and you've stopped all of your momentum. And one of the reasons, the main reason why that occurs is because it's what you're focusing on. And so the topic today is really just talking about um, looking at what is working only, right? This is a maximizing your potential to focus on what is actually only working, right? Not, I mean, it's always important to look at what isn't working, but you don't want to focus on what isn't working. We want to build off of what is working only. So when we do, and when we all will experience and, continue to experience failure, um, that is feedback. It's not a failure. It's only a failure when we say it's a failure. And the only way it becomes a failure and we never go back to it is when we're looking at it from a standpoint of, well, this didn't work. But there's a lot of things in that process that would have occurred that did work. And if you don't see it from a standpoint of um, the things and focusing only on what is working, it can stop and change, and you could easily just kill a dream, essentially, kill a relationship. Um, so having this mindset and having this principle of just focusing only on what is working really made a difference in my life, and I hope that it makes a difference for you guys today. So um, that's the topic that we're going to talk about, and really, I want to emphasize how much of a positive impact this can have on you. Hang on one second. I think, no, okay, we're good. Yeah, how much of an impact this can actually have on you when it comes to just motivation, productivity. One of the things that I did, and one of the things you might want to do, get a piece of paper here, is just draw like a circle, okay, and you want to do just a pie chart, but the pie chart is really just going to have a line going down the middle, right? Imagine that, and then you also have a line. How do I say it? Like making a pie, right? You make it a triangle. And that little triangle, if you're thinking of a pie chart, right? And you don't even have to put the line all the way down. You could just make a pie, a little section, right? So you've got a full circle, but then you've got this one little pie slice. And that little pie slice just represents 10%. And then the other represents 90%. And what I found myself doing, and what I feel a lot of people end up doing, is the 10% is all of the things that are the one thing that went wrong, right? But you've got all this 90% of things that was actually working. But because I at the time was so fixated on the 10%, that the 10% actually became the whole 100%, right? Because when we look at that one little thing that we didn't do, when we're not using this mindset of focusing on what works, the focusing on that one thing that doesn't work now becomes the whole 100%. So all of that 90%, that all of the things that we were doing good and really harping on what is working just disappears. And because of the fact that it's like now I'm just looking at only the 10%, and that has become my focal point, the pie chart has now become 100%. So I hope that makes sense. Just kind of looking at it from that perspective, because especially for me, when you're finding yourself wanting to beat yourself up, um, not on purpose, but just the self talk, the limiting talk, the limiting belief systems and things like that. A lot of it's always like, oh, here we go again. Look at what happened. I'm doing this, right? But there's all these things, like, say if you meet a new person, right? And, the person has all of these great qualities, but it's that one little thing that sticks out that you're just like, yeah, but he does this, and it's not even a deal breaker. And that's another video that I'll actually talk about too and do at one point. But like, because of the fact that we're just emphasizing and focusing on that one little thing, we forget about all of the other really good things that that person is doing. And that can make a big difference when it comes to whether or not you stay with the person, whether or not you feel like you're even wanting to jump into a relationship with that person. So, this is very crucial in understanding, when it comes to your building out your dreams. You know, if you say you want to be a YouTube content creator, right? And if you're gonna sit there and be like, oh my gosh, like, I stutter. I'm not perfect, but like the content is really good, and you're saying amazing stuff, and your audience is loving you, but you're just in your head beating yourself up because this one particular thing is not right. That could stop everything, right? I deal with that sometimes. It's like, trying to make these videos and stuff like that, the inner struggles, that understanding, like, to be able to maximize your potential is to not focus on what is not working. You only want to focus on what is working and write that out. It's good to reflect on what didn't work, but that can't be the basis of why things failed. You got to look at, where's the feedback? Where can I grow? Because that's what's going to allow you to jump back in, right? Um, like the whole Thomas Edison thing, where it's like, he failed over 100 times, or maybe it was 1,000 times. You want to look that up, before he created the light bulb. I know there's more to that story in that sense, but understanding there are principles to looking at only what is working and how to create momentum, right? Another a great analogy is like, how do you look at, I've got this kitchen full of dirty dishes, and I hadn't, for whatever reason, because of life, got busy. I wasn't able to clean the kitchen for a whole week. But it can feel overwhelming because of the fact that it's like, I have to do all this now at once, and maybe this is the fourth or fifth time that this has happened for whatever reason. Again, we're just using this as an example. But if you're just like, oh, here we go again, that's how the dishes get like that, right? It's because everything is piled up. But when you're just like, oh, you know what? But when I wash that one dish, I'm here, I got to wash that one dish. I was really good at washing that one dish. Now let me go ahead and start building that momentum, because that was working last time. And then before you know it, you've got a clean house again. And then you know that you never want to sit there and actually have the house pile up again, and all you have to do is just keep washing that one dish. Don't leave it in the sink. I mean, again, these are just examples. Maybe it was a terrible example, but I just want to kind of give you an idea of thinking. Like, when you want to jump back into something, or when you want to utilize this feedback that's occurring when we think that we're failing, this type of mindset is what makes the difference. And it's what you're focusing on, because what you focus on expands. So, just keep that in mind. It's something that really made a difference in my life. It's something that I practice all the time. I try to remind people as much as possible, especially when they're in their situations. And I'm just, even asking that question, hey, what is working? Tell me, because they're just seeing what is not working only. And that's something that, if you just shifting that little mindset, can create all the momentum in the world again. So, uh, that's it for today. you guys today, comment down below in this video. Tell me what you're liking. Give me feedback. I'm just kind of pushing out this content as best as I can because this is for you guys. These are principles that, like I said, I've learned for over the last 18 years, and I love sharing this information, and I want to share more. So I definitely want to keep this an open dialogue. So you guys like and subscribe. There's a bell notification that you want to hit on also too, because that lets you know that there's anytime that I produce new content, which I'm producing daily, all the time, you'll get that notification. And then that also helps with the algorithm and helps this community grow. So until next time, we'll talk, and you guys make it a great day. Take care.